everyone.
Greetings and salutations from Rain Country.
Getting up and going, spur of the moment. I hope we're not overlapping anyone. I tried to see if anyone else was live or going live. I know there's been a lot of people just kind of randomly popping in and out. And yeah.
Random works good for us with our schedule the way it is, so.
I guess I can remove the picture. I have to have an opening picture, and I just picked something random.
Random video, random pictures.
Random.
And
now we're offline. What happened? Live. Okay, there. Back and forth. I was hoping this might be a good time of the day to get on and have less issues, but it's looking like we might still be having streaming issues. Can anyone hear us?
And let us know if this is a good time to come on.
Okay, so I'm going to type it in. Can anyone hear us? I just want to make sure our sound is okay.
Is anybody out there?
Yeah.
We can see people typing.
Our stream is showing red. Okay.
All
right, I'm going to go ahead and remove. I'll go ahead and tell you about the pie before I remove it. I was just trying to find something that was kind of pretty and random to stick up there, and this was it's a strawberry rhubarb pie. I believe it was all. I know the rhubarb was from the garden. I believe all the strawberries were from the garden, but I'm not sure. But this was the first pie that I had made in our toaster oven running off of our solar power. Yeah, you can't see us yet because I haven't removed the picture yet.
She's doing show and tell on her food.
I'm showing and telling. I like to have an opening picture. So, okay, I'll take the pie off. So, here we are. Hello all. See, make sure that's out of the way. So, oh look, we can still see my socks over there hanging on I was trying to get all the laundry out of the line.
Oh, now that you notice it.
But at least it's just socks. I wear kids' socks, by the way, so.
Clean socks.
But, yeah, they're clean. They were just washed today. And there's only 3 of those ones because there's still that one elusive sock.
The one crawled away. We'll find it hiding under the bed, or
it's probably one of those socks that you see alongside the road, you know, that those are the socks that are trying to get away, you know. They think they can find a better life out there somewhere.
If anybody's wondering where some of their extra socks end up, go to your dryer lint screen. You'll probably find it in there.
Yeah, but it's nothing but lint, or?
Right. You'll have to respin the wool and turn it back into a sock.
Oh, okay. And since I have a spinning wheel, and I'm going to have to get to working on learning how to do that someday.
Have to stop replying to comments and start getting busy.
We said she loved the spoof video. We knew you would.
Oh, thanks, Wee. You know, that was it. The hardest part of that video was trying to keep a straight face.
I thought you did a pretty good job. There was a lot more little mistakes that we cut out of there, but I was trying to keep the video kind of short. It was an hour worth of footage, I'm telling you. But he had to keep going back and washing off that window because he kept getting corn juice and whatever all over it that he put in front of the camera to protect the camera. So, hello everyone coming in.
Yeah, welcome everybody.
And this really was spur of the moment. And this is kind of how it's going to be with us when we do a live show, at least for a little while. I don't know that we'll ever set a time, date, or whatever. It would be nice to have something set, but when he's on his days off, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's always very, you know,
up in the air.
Yeah, because things, just all these different things are going on, working on Ryan's house, and
we're kind of impromptu and kind of fluid in our schedule when it comes to my weekends. So
yeah, we really have to keep it that way. And then if the weather's nice, which, as you know, because we say it so often, can be rare, then we want to try to take advantage of that and get out and go for a hike or something and look at property or whatever. So
the one thing we'd like to hear from you guys is how can we better communicate the times that we go on, like if we're spur of the moment, I know some people are planners. And believe it or not, we like to plan too. Her more than me, but
Yeah.
it I know
Yeah.
it benefits a lot of people if they kind of know a routine or a schedule. We used to come on at 4 o'clock on Thursdays, but uh, sometimes it is really difficult for us, and we don't want to fill a slot and disappoint people trying to make arrangements, and then we don't show up because of an emergency or something came up. So if anybody has any ideas on how we can better communicate with you, leave it in the chat or in the comment box as we'll post this video.
And I forgot to tweet it and all that kind of stuff. I'm still new to the Twitter thing, and,
Oh yeah.
and
If we have anybody out there, I know she's really
of course
good
I only
at it.
have 6 followers on Twitter.
if there's anybody out there that can, send out the message to anybody who might be interested in stopping in and chatting with us.
What happened?
Are we offline?
Well, I think you must have hit the. Somehow we're on Ravelry.
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay. Are we still online? This says offline here. Weird.
Hey, Patrick Nobles.
Are we? Can you guys still see us?
Back to my roots homestead.
Okay. Whoa, now where'd the chat go? Well, doggone it, this thing is just all screwed up. So
Okay.
if you guys can hear us, just be patient. Patrick bumped my keyboard because it's in my lap. So, weird.
I'm all thumbs when it comes to technology, folks.
And, well, this was his elbow. Darn it. This is irritating. Sorry, people. Okay, now where did my OBS go? So I can see. Okay, there we go. Make sure that I know what we're doing. Okay, so I'm sorry, it's showing our stream is red, and it's showing it red the whole time, so I'm thinking this might not be the best time of day for us, but if you guys are hearing us and seeing us fine, then that's cool. But yeah, it's red, since we have really low output, so, okay, good. Yeah. Watch my keyboard. My wireless keyboard, since the keyboard on the computer has, just been dying a slow death, and
she blames the keyboard thing on me, but look whose hands are flying all over.
No, it was his elbow. It's on video. I was like, what the world happened? Somehow it bumped us to Ravelry. I don't even know how that happened because I haven't been to that page in days. But so that was kind of weird. But anyway, so yeah, and I feel bad because Freaky just watched it.
Oh yeah, right on.
Yeah. So, and hi Patrick, Freaky, Delea, I guess is how you say your name, Delea. And Suburban, thank you for coming in, Wee Tree. Mm-hmm. Danny, back to my roots, did I say that? Amanda. So I'm not expecting a big crowd. I just thought we would jump on. We just kind of decided for the moment to jump on here for a couple of reasons. Here comes the frying pan. You wanted to say the challenge thing.
Well, when we put the last video, I don't know if everybody's seen it, was that I got challenged from the Texas boys to figure out how to open up a can, just a can of corn or any kind of canned food, and without a can opener. And so I figured, okay, I have my work cut out for me today because I got challenged. And you know what happens when guys get challenged. So in amongst all the video shooting that we did, I forgot to pass on the baton to somebody else.
And he picked 3 people.
I picked 3 people
instead of just one.
Well, I had to pick the one person because they actually brought it to my attention in the comments.
Yes.
And so, I had to include them. So anyway, hopefully they're actually in here, and if not,
I haven't seen
We'll
them
post.
yet.
We'll post.
I haven't seen any of them.
We'll post the video tomorrow morning.
This video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make it public probably tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Because we like to kind of look it through and cut out any weird stuff, like if we got any long gaps. But then sometimes I just leave it.
So anyway,
Thanks, Patrick.
I am passing on the baton to, drum roll please.
Go ahead.
Doug and Stacy, with off-grid and Doug and Stacy with off-grid with Doug and Stacy, and because they brought it to my attention that I had not included
that
anybody, that we failed in passing it on to somebody else. The challenge, you know, the 101 the survival challenge. So the second person,
do I need to go get my drum set out?
Yes.
That's too much work.
Is going to be Tommy at Alderman Farms.
Yes.
And
I know he knows.
Third but not final, the moment you're all been waiting for and you're tired of waiting is
Hey, Dutch.
FSS.
There's the guy that got it all started.
Yes. Homesteading with Dutch. He's the mastermind of the challenge.
Mastermind.
And quite artful and very good idea. So anyway.
Sorry, I cut you off. Did you even say?
Yeah.
Okay, so Brad from Full Spectrum Survival, if he sees this.
And so we have 3 different guys that we're going to challenge on this, and it should be a lot of fun.
Is Mouse Toes in? Mouse Toes is in here.
Well, hey, Mouse Toes,
lady.
we haven't seen you in a long time.
Forever and a day.
Yeah, welcome in.
And Rebecca's here. Flying VS Farms.
Yes.
Farm. I keep wanting to add an S to the end. But anyway, I thought it would be kind of funny to include the survival guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, the full spectrum
so Brad
survival
at Full
guy.
Spectrum Survival, you know, he's got all the tricks of the trade when
I'm
it
curious
comes
to see if he'll actually
survival moves,
be able
you know.
to be goofy. Can he be goofy?
That's why I challenged him, because I think it's going to be interesting for everybody to see that. Off-grid with Doug and Stacy, you know, they have.
And we know Doug can be
They
goofy.
live in a little bit of a. Doug's always goofy, so he should have a fun video, you know. And so Tommy
and
Alderman,
Tommy, he's got a great sense
awesome.
of humor.
You know, you guys, I'd really recommend you guys check out their channels. They're an awesome group of folks. So that's where my challenge is going out to. We got 3. So
I knew
Dutch,
Mouse Toes was in here when I saw Wee Tree say evil. That's what she calls her, evil.
Yeah, so had a lot of fun, and the Texas boys actually.
Yeah, they were the ones that sent the challenge out, and theirs was. And if you haven't seen all of those videos, you got to go see them. The Texas boys, just, I mean, how cute and how. I mean, creative and fun. Those boys, I just think they're great.
Hello, Susan Sullivan.
Yeah, let's see. And then, and like, let's see. Okay, now who else? Oh, and then Sam from Teal House Farm.
Oh yes, I forgot. Sam.
Yeah, he did 3 different things. And then Daniel from Arms Family Homestead.
Yes.
So even though he cheated sort of at the end, at least he used solar power. Kind of really not much different than Patrick.
Well, you can't really, you know, I kind of played that up in the video. I hope nobody gets offended. I called somebody a cheater, but I don't think they will. I think he's got a great sense of humor too. But you know, so I had to throw that in there that he actually used a can opener. And so anyway, here we go.
Just so long no one throws water on you, freaky. We don't want to make too many more of you. For the gremlins.
Hey, the Texas boys, there they are.
There they are.
All right, you little rugrats. Did you guys see my video? Texas boys?
Pretty sure they did.
All right.
So what a fun thing that Dutch got going.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Dutch is doing another survival spoof today. Cool. The cases are in the house.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're getting some folks.
So, I mean, we kind of had a topic in mind because Amy Fuel had put a video. We haven't even watched it yet, but we saw the title of it. We have not had a chance to watch it yet because it's been kind of go this morning, but or today, but what was it?
Well,
your homesteading story.
Yeah, your homesteading story.
So it
which is a great idea.
Yeah. And we may still do a separate video just about that, a non-live one. But
Oh, Grizz.
uh, just kind of got us thinking, the whole idea. And I guess, we've probably talked about it a little bit, in some of our other live shows because people ask questions, but it's like, how did we get here?
Right.
How did we get in this way of thinking and moving into this lifestyle? Because, and I say that because obviously for us, we do not feel like we've arrived yet because
No.
we don't have all the things. We're not, we're not as far ahead of the game as like people like Danny and Wanda are and some others. And, and we hope to be there someday. But how did we get on this path to more self-reliance and all that?
And what we're interested is finding out, and by no means we've been asking, thinking about this a long time in order to incorporate people more into the communication thing. Not us just talking with you,
Yes.
but the whole reason.
Talking at you.
Well, I shouldn't say the whole reason, but a big reason that we actually got into the YouTube thing. I felt kind of vain when she first incorporated me into a live chat, and and probably still is vanity. But anyway, the primary reason we got onto YouTube is
I'm gonna have to get my drum set out.
is
I miss playing it
just
anyway.
a sense of community, because probably like y'all, we get into the into this kind of lifestyle, and there's not a whole lot of people around your little world that actually are of like-mindedness. So we're going to reach out and found a community on YouTube, and man, oh man, this is a great place to learn different skills. You type in anything in the computer anymore, and you can pop up how to fix this, or how to act this way, or how to do this and that and the other thing. And we're talking about getting chickens, and shoot, I haven't had chickens since I was a kid.
Actually, we had chickens a long time
well,
ago.
Oh well, we had the speckled banties. Yeah,
we had
they
two.
were pets.
We had a rooster and a hen. They were more pets than anything. We got some eggs. And when it was before we had kids.
Yeah,
I always forget about it because it wasn't a very long period of time.
Yeah, but it wasn't chickens to the same extent. They just kind of they were given to us, and so we like, oh, here we got some chickens, and then they ended up getting eaten by some neighborhood dogs, and so we want to be a little more secure about that before we go into getting any more. But anyway, I was
just gonna say that the one thing about the little bannies is that the hen put out just the right size egg for when I was wanting to make just a real small batch of cornbread for the beans and cornbread, because it was just the two of us and we didn't need a whole huge pan, and so that little egg was just
makes
the right
exactly
size.
half an egg.
I loved it.
So yeah, maybe we'll have to incorporate speckled bannies into the mix too.
I don't know, the roosters aren't very friendly. That's the one thing I learned about having those is the rooster was always looking for. He tried to be sneaky too, like, okay, I'm just pecking at the ground, and try to sneak up on me when I wasn't looking. And
she would stand there with a squirt bottle and play with the chickens. It didn't hurt them or nothing like that, but she would let the hair cover her eyes, and she'd
so he wouldn't know I was watching him.
Wandering around a little bit, and that chicken, he would kind of scratch a little bit and peck at the ground, scratch a little bit and peck at the ground, sneak a little bit closer to her, and all of a sudden he'd flog her. And
or try to.
And after she got, wise to his ways, she'd get that squirt bottle and get him about half flight, and squirt him, and he'd go, he would.
Hey, well, I had a lot of fun with
squeak
him. There was that one time though, I was not prepared. I went out there, I was busy because
caught her by surprise.
The only gardening I did back then was growing dahlias. I was into dahlias, and I was out there, fussing with my dahlias, and the darn thing snuck up on me and I turned and saw him running at me, and I wasn't armed with anything but my feet, and I kicked that thing so hard right between the legs, just sent him flying. And then I felt bad because I was just more like it was more of a reaction. You get that fight or flight, and it was adrenaline, and that thing's coming at me, and And boy, he stayed away from me for quite a while, but then I think he forgot how
Yeah, I
that
think
felt.
they think they must have extraordinary testosterone flow or something like that that affects the memory glands or something there. But yeah, he forgot after a little bit.
He never actually hurt me
Now
though.
that's when I was young, or young, very young, where they actually still had wagons. Um, my mom, we had some Rhode Island Reds, and those chickens can be mean. And she'd go in there and feed them chickens, and those chickens was as tall as she was. She's probably 4'10" or something like that. I can't remember how she was. She was really short. And she went in that pen one time to feed those chickens, and one of them Rhode Island Reds come up there and flogged her. That's it, chased her out of the chicken pen, and she came back with a 2x4, about 3 foot long, and she went to batting that sucker and hit him right in the head, and that chicken passed out cold in the chicken pen. Well, it she thought she'd killed him, and he got up there in about 30 seconds, and he hung out in the corner of that pen as far away from her as he could get. But he, part of that chicken wire, he was off in it. But anyway, so that chicken respected her after that.
Well, Rebecca, even the bantams we had, we raised them from little chicks, and once you got a hold of them, I don't know if this is common for chickens, but once you got a hold of them, they just calmed right down, and they were cool. Mm-hmm. But the rooster, he was always kind of after me.
Yeah, the rooster, he
mostly me.
Yeah.
Not, but
well, he'd get me too, but
and BC, that's good to hear.
Hello, BC. Thanks for coming in.
And I'm glad to see you here too. And there was something else. So I thought I saw a question. Oh, the Instagram thing. I did actually start setting up an Instagram account, but I have no idea how to use it. And I'm like, wait a minute, isn't this more for smartphone stuff? And I'm not I used to have a smartphone. I was really into them at one time until I saw how addicted everybody was to their smartphones. And I started looking around and I realized I was too. And I said, that's it, I'm getting rid of it. And I went to a dumb phone and have had a dumb phone ever since. So I kind of get the impression Instagram is more of a, yeah, you have a smartphone, you're taking pictures, you upload. I don't know. But I have the account. I mean, if it's something I can do from my laptop, there's stuff, I don't even know what it's for, to be honest. I just know that a lot of people are into Instagram. So I'll look into it some more down the road, but it's kind of like it's another project on top of all the others.
Another education. If it depended on me, this wouldn't be happening. I'd be sending smoke signals to you, carrier pigeons or something.
I wouldn't say I'm not techie. I'm just, I'm more. I just, the smartphone thing. Just, I try to. I don't know. I have an issue with smartphones, even though Patrick now has one. There's a reason for that, though. But I just have this issue about the smartphone thing, like I said, and some of it was just seeing my own addiction. You go to church. Okay, here, just for an example, this was one of the eye-openers. You go to church. Nobody carries a Bible anymore. They carry a phone, and they do everything from their phone, and they're staring at their phone the whole entire time. And I was guilty too. And I just thought, I don't want to be dependent on a techie device. I wonder
what they said. I wonder what they
paper.
said when they came up with actually hardbound books instead of parchment.
That was probably the techie thing at the time.
Look, everybody's carrying around a Bible. What's up with that?
Patrick Nobles. I had a smartphone one time that I found out it was smarter than me, so I threw it overboard.
Patrick, I did the same thing. I was on the cutting edge. I got the.
But now he's got a smartphone again.
What was that? The
you
Droid.
had
I got the Droid.
Yeah, but before
and she
that,
was
you
always
had the
on
BlackBerry.
the computer. I got the BlackBerry, and she was always on the computer. Okay, our 2-year.
Always doing reviews.
Always getting up on
reviews.
the 2-year. Okay, you've got 3 more days, and your 2-year.
And I would study whatever the best phone was for weeks.
At the threshold of it, and finally we said, there's enough of this.
Yeah, go back. I mean, my phone is so dumb, but this phone I have now, it's so simple and so dumb. It's almost hard to work because it's like I don't even know how to get to anything in this. And texting, oh good grief. Good grief.
Now the Texas boys, I just see a laughy face on their thing. They're like, man, you adults are stupid.
Well, I'm gonna guess that they probably don't have Texas mom. Yes, it's an addiction. Yeah. Anyway, so but
I gotta ask my kids how to run. They've got iPhones, and so I'm asking around. Okay, well, what do I get? And I finally come to the realization. Well, both of my kids have iPhones, and if I want to know anything about these smartphones, I'm just gonna ask them.
Yeah.
Well, I can't ask them if I've got some other sort of smart device, so I just went ahead with an iPhone.
Yeah.
So if I got a problem, I can just ask
exactly.
them.
That was kind of it. Even though we were like trying to stay away from, I have this thing with Apple, but there's a reason why I don't like Apple, but it does seem like a pretty decent phone as far as all the things you can do with it and all that. But anyway, we should probably get back on track.
Oh, where were we going with all
We
this?
were talking about how did we get here?
How do we get here from there?
I suppose we can give. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to. I'm trying to only keep this down to an hour, but I know that for each of us, growing up, we were, he grew up more into the lifestyle of farming and all that. He had a horse and all that kind of stuff.
We had several horses.
And you've seen the hillbilly video. His dad, that's who he was raised by. Where the family I grew up in wasn't so much that way. They were like I said I think on when I was on Go for Green Living last week when we were on. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave you out, but. Daniel was asking me, if I learned from my mom or whatever how to. No, I didn't, because how I grew up was everything came from a box and a can, and there was
like the canned corn tree.
Yeah.
She'd just go out and harvest a canned corn tree. Yeah. Actually, she didn't even do that. She just went to the store and picked the stuff up, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Buying instead of making sauce. Even when I started making my own homemade tuna noodle casserole or whatever, I would go to the store and buy cream and mushroom soup. And then one day I was like, wait a minute, can't I just make this myself? And a lot of it was stuff where it just kind of a light bulb went on. It's like, I'm sure I can do this myself and I don't have to keep buying this garbage. And so it was things like that. But to go back a little farther, for me, when I was a very young child, my parents had friends that lived out on the farm, and they had the whole works. And every time we went out there to visit, to me it was heaven. I loved being out there. They had horses and ponies and cows. I don't remember if they had sheep or not. They had a big old garden, and I loved it. And I remember having dreams of wanting to have a farm and live that way. But then, you get older and then you go off to college in the city and you kind of get a little bit citified, and those things you sort of forget about. And then, but then what really sort of changed our thinking, there was little things all along the way of being married, but what really did it was, I think, the year 2008. We saw a lot of big changes. My dance business had dropped considerably that year, and as you all know, I think anybody in here would understand what happened in 2008. And it was a big change for us. And we decided, we were already pretty frugal people, and we were virtually kind of. Well, not compared to what we are now.
I was always the kind of guy to save up and buy big, and she was probably more so to
nickel and
dime us to death. So that was a bad combination. So both equally as failing in the respects of being financially responsible, but I knew how to discipline myself to to save money at the time we were doing that. But I would save up and end up, you know, buying a truck or a trailer or
Camp trailer,
backhoe or whatever.
backhoe, dump truck.
You know, so there's things like that. You know, so
At least those things are useful though. Those are work,
yeah,
that's work
that was
equipment.
my argument. You know.
Yeah. And it has been useful because he did go into business for a short time for himself with that stuff. And then just useful around the property, as some of you have seen if you've been watching our videos. Not counting the one we put up today.
Makes a great can opener.
Makes a great can opener. But yeah, it's, you know, having the backhoe, I tell you, has really been handy. And then if we ever do get that piece of property, well, you use the backhoe to help prop up the playhouse from this side. I don't know if you told that whole story when you were having to replace those posts underneath.
Oh, I don't know if I had it or not, but
you
yeah,
did on the one side.
As we got the cliffhanger out there with the chicken house, but you know, that playhouse, you know, it was rotting into the ground, and I don't know, it was probably 8 to 12 inches shorter than it was when I first built it, and so I had to shore it up and, you know, lift up the side of it to get some shoring under it to start jacking the whole playhouse up. Well, it's a pretty sizable building, pretty heavy. I think it's what, 8 by 8 or something like that, 8 by 12, something like that. Jacked up in the air and held up by 4 by 4s, and so yeah, I mean the backhoes come in handy for that kind of thing to
and replacing those posts in the ground and pulling them out
and to bring Heidi her anniversary present.
Yes, and you'll see that video hasn't gone up yet.
Oh, okay.
I might put that one up tomorrow. I don't know yet.
Yeah, I got Heidi an anniversary present. I had to pack it home with the backhoe.
Even though our anniversary is 2 months away, but yeah.
Early anniversary.
Early, and that's fine.
We can't wait.
It's the same anniversary. It's the same anniversary gift every year, and I love it. Better than anything. So, well, anyway, back to the, you know, how we got here, the 2008 and all that. We were already, the only debt we had then was the house. We had all our rigs paid off, even the heavy equipment. We paid everything off pretty quickly.
A little bit before that, we were in buy now, pay later mode, and we were kind of just voraciously getting into that thing in 2007, 2008, maybe a little earlier than that. But we got, we consolidated the loans.
Yeah. But all we had left was the house, and we had pretty low payments on the house back then. And we decided then it was time to really get out of debt and get the house paid off, but then things changed, and we weren't able to get on it as soon as we wanted, because of 2008. It was actually just before that we were starting to think, oh, let's start paying off the house. And we went through some hard times during that year, but then once things got better, then it was like, and things got stable for us again. It was like, that's it, the house is getting paid off. And by that time we were really getting into, let's get serious about growing a garden, not just flowers and tomatoes. Let's get serious about doing this for real. And as far as wood stove and all that, we've been doing that since we got married, because we've always had a wood stove. But I didn't start, and I hung clothes up to dry I've been doing that for, goodness, I think since the kids were little bitty.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't actually get into cooking on it. I never had thought about it until, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Bless you. It might have been as much as 10 years ago, but I don't know. Well, it's already 2017, so maybe 10 years ago I started cooking a little bit at a time.
And more getting into the lifestyle of what can we cut here in order to benefit us later down the road. We've been slowly migrating to that position for a long time, and we're still migrating to that position to save what we can.
Yeah.
In order
because we like being debt free. We don't want to get back in debt we want property, but we don't want to go into debt to buy property. It's kind of, some people, I hear some, and I know we've said this before, but I've heard people say, well, if you're going to go in debt at all, go in debt to get property.
That's true. I mean,
I understand that.
That's one of those things that you you know, it's
I don't
really
like
hard.
being a slave, though.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Which we already are to some
Every
degree.
time we think about making
us.
that big plunge, let's not do that because, you know, economy's kind of shaky.
We just would rather keep saving up money, and hopefully if if the right place comes along and we know that's what we want, here's the cash. That's what we want to do. That's our goal. You know, and we get closer to that goal all the time, but you know, but we may decide, looking, you know, here's the other thing too. We're in our 50s, and you know, do we want a big area? I mean, lots of land all around you for privacy is great, but how much do we want to take on, you know, as we get closer, you know, to that time in our life where we might not be able to do much? And do we want to live too far out away from our kids or from town, or, you know, it's just, there's a lot of things that we're thinking about.
Well, you look at old Alabama Gardner and my dad and stuff like that. I mean, there's not much slowing them down.
Yeah.
And I think hard work keeps you young. And I'm scared to death of hard work, so I don't know.
He always says that, but he's always working hard. He just doesn't feel like it when he's home on the weekend, because I actually try to get him to take time off. You know, it's like, yes, I have projects for him to do, but I do try to encourage him to have to at least have one day where he's just resting. I mean, like, just resting. I mean, there's a reason why we're supposed to have a day of rest, because our bodies need to recoup from the stress, whether it be mental or physical or all of the above. So he needs a day of rest.
Oh, I think I could sit around and let her dust me for here on out.
He wants to be a chair ornament.
Yes. We have plenty of yard ornaments, so I want her to start.
And that's why
if
John from Dirt Patch comes in here, we don't need another yard ornament.
Yeah, he's trying to get rid of that motorhome.
Sitting that RV our way, so we don't need another yard ornament. We've got the backhoe, equipment trailer, dump truck.
He's been trying to pedal that thing for the last, I don't know, couple months. Anyway.
I don't know how we fit everything on this little piece.
Yeah.
At least we don't have a boat anymore.
Anyhow, so yeah, that's kind of what got us into this. We want to, the more money we save, the more money we earn, the more money we can put towards our goals. And, you know, that's probably not a bad advice to anybody who's willing to hear it. And I think there's a lot of us actually who have the same mindset, that actually have those same values as well. And we're part of what draws us to this community is like-minded people in that arena as well. And so we thank everybody for all the videos that they put up and that we can learn from, and hopefully you guys can learn from ours, especially how to open cans. I think it's really important that people know how to open a can of corn.
Well, and one thing and I don't know if I've said it, I've made so many videos. I've been building up a video bank. So I do have, like, you know, a couple more soap related videos coming out, and several cooking videos. He's got a couple of, like, things that he's built, and just a lot of different things coming out. I think we've got 12 in our up to 12 videos in our little video bank. And so I don't know if it's anything I've put up yet. I can't remember if I said it in this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it now, but you'll hear it several times. And that is how much we do actually appreciate the interaction in not just in the chats, but also in the comments under the videos, because there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of good knowledge, people that have been doing stuff longer than we have, or maybe as long, maybe not even as long, but they might do something a little bit different. It's like, hey, I tried this, or I do this. And some people can be offended by that, but if we're out here sharing our knowledge, we're sharing our knowledge, right? And so if I'm gonna share with you, I should be open to accept, because I learned everything I have. either from trial and error or from going to YouTube and blogs and reading and watching about these things. So, yeah, so we all, oh, hi Luna. You know, we should all be sharing our knowledge, and that's why I always come back to what Donna says from Old Ways, New Times. Sometimes I get her name backwards, but she's, I love that she always says, share your knowledge. Sorry, I think somebody's here.
Oh, I don't know.
So.
Yep, must be Ryan.
Oh, hi Kayla.
Oh, Kayla's here. But no, share your thoughts. Especially if anybody, you know, what got you from, let's say, the city out to the country, or what got you into the mindset of homesteading. We'd like to know those stories. That might kind of help goad us into that direction a little further, because, you know, for the most part, we're just right there. It's just a matter of somebody taking us by the nose ring and pulling us off of this place, you know. But no, we're encouraged by everybody that actually participate in the chats. So yeah, share your story. Let us know what it is that makes you tick.
And I don't know, Homestead Tessie, I see you in here, and I haven't had a chance to watch the video you put up today, but it looks like one I really want to watch, and I'm guessing that's kind of, by the title, that's more of the you sharing your story.
Yeah, and I watched that one too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have so much catching up on videos to do, and I feel bad, people, that I haven't been able to watch everybody's videos as much as I've wanted to. I just have not had the time. I literally get at least one skirt order every week, and sometimes it's a skirt and an apron order. I mean, I am making skirts all the time. Every Friday, that's my ship day. That's the day I go out shipping. Every Friday I have 2 to 3 packages, sometimes more at a time, to send off to people. I've been staying busy, and now getting our garden ready for planting, and I went out there, I was out there pruning grapevines. Actually, I have a craft time chat all about that coming out. I think that's the one I was going to put out first. I don't know. I got to look through. I got like 3 or 4 gardening related videos to put out. And I want to make sure I put them out sequential. But it's been crazy. So I really do want to get in there and listen and watch your videos more. I miss them.
Yeah, we had no idea how, you know, really time consuming YouTube can be.
It can be. Anyway, I don't know. That's we can probably button it up unless we want to take some questions for a few minutes.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions out there?
I know there's been a few that went by.
Okay, we got like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's if we stay on for an hour.
Yeah, and
since we have company,
just make sure that we don't have anything, you know, anybody that we're stepping on as far as
did you see
being
Marlene
on,
yet?
you know, at the same time.
Have you seen Marlene yet? Okay. I didn't.
Yeah, she said she had something for
Okay, yeah, she does. All right, sorry. Oh, bandana grandma.
What is it?
Oh, she said she misses my comments. Aw, okay.
Okay, so we're got a dead airspace.
Sorry, dead airspace. Dun, 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 dun. I'm sorry. Okay, well, I'm trying to read. So, okay, somebody asked about, you know, if we're going to be doing any canning. I can every year. Some year, like this last year, I didn't do as much canning as I did the year before, because I did so much canning the year before. But I'm also trying to find a balance, because I love canning. I absolutely love canning, and I love the fact that I can get stuff into something that will have a very long shelf life. But on the other hand, the thing I don't like about canning is what it does to the food, and that is, you know, you're going to lose a lot of your nutrients in the canning process. So since we have freezers right now, and I mean, obviously canning will be the thing. If we lose all solar power, we don't have, you know, we lose grid power, then we're going to be doing a lot more canning. But like my green beans, I prefer to freeze them. I like canned green beans. I love the way they taste, especially the home canned ones. However, I like the fact that I can preserve the nutrients a little bit better. I love fermenting, but finding a good place here for me to store lots and lots of fermented stuff where it will stay nice and cold all the time is, I just don't have a good place for that. But like fermented beets are one of my favorite fermented foods. And I'm hoping to grow a lot of beets this year because they're just so good for you. And it's funny because I was just been thinking about that, and Stacy just put a video up about the beets. She put another one out that I haven't got to watch yet, but the importance of beets. And I saw somebody ask a question about
what herbs do you grow?
I grow a lot of herbs, and I actually started in there'll be a medicinal herb collaboration coming out soon that I got started, and there's quite a few people getting involved in it, and it should be real good. So we'll be talking about that. Everybody's going to focus on either whether or not it's, you know, what new herbs or old herbs, or they might focus on one. I haven't decided. It's funny, I started the collaboration and I still haven't decided yet what exactly I'm going to talk about, but I grow all kinds of herbs from just culinary to medicinal. But I tell you, those culinary herbs have lots of medicinal properties: the thyme, the oregano, the basil. So I think all herbs have medicinal properties, all of them. So yes, I definitely grow herbs.
Can you can applesauce without all that sugar? Yes,
you can. Yep, for sure, and I've done it. I'm not a big apple. We're not big applesauce eaters, but we got so many apples this last year, and I have jars and jars and jars and jars and jars of dehydrated apples, which dehydrating is another thing I really like to do. I did a lot more dehydrating this last year because, believe it or not, I was surprised when I learned this. Dehydrating actually preserves more nutrients than canning does. And you can vacuum seal it in the jars like I've shown in the videos. You use your brake bleeder, your food saver attachment, vacuum seal, and those things will last for a really long time. Then you can take your dehydrated apples and you can actually rehydrate them and make a really good pie out of dehydrated apples, believe it or not. I did like fried apple pies, and those were a hit. I rehydrated them.
I forgot what those taste like.
I tried to stay away from making too many sweet things, bready and sweet things, but it was when his dad was up one time, and I made fried apple pies, and I rehydrated the apples using an apple cherry juice, so it had kind of an apple cherry flavor. So they were so good. They were really good. So but anyway,
so Vintage Believer was asking if we would ever put up a video of a day and time, days and times of, or just a video on our life, our daily life.
We have some up. We'll probably do some more of those. I have one I did back in the summer. That was when most of my videos were a lot longer. I've been trying to keep them. I've been trying to go back and forth, putting like some shorter videos out for people who can't watch anything that's longer than 10 minutes because of their download time. I mean, I'm saying that wrong, but you guys know what I mean. Their bandwidth and all that. But when I first started, most of my videos were like 20 to 30 minutes. And I have one, so in the summertime, it was called Day in the Life of Rain. And just kind of showed some of the things that would happen on almost a daily basis in the summer. And then we did one with no words, just music, where he kind of followed me around, and we got a little bit of video, and that was more of a winter day in the life kind of thing. I don't remember what I called it, but that was maybe a month ago.
Is fermenting the same as pickling?
Yes and no. Fermenting is the old-fashioned way of pickling, lacto-fermentation. But if you look at the way pickling's done modern, you go down to the store, you buy a jar of pickles or sauerkraut. That's modern way, where it's just, okay, let's put in a lot of white vinegar and call it pickled. I mean, that's obviously very simplified, but like when I make pickles, I actually do the old-fashioned lacto-fermented way, where I put my little fermentation starter that I make from my own fruit, my own berries, or my own grapes, and then I put that in with the pickles and add my spices and some water, and then let them sit on the counter for 3 days, and then they're good and bubbly and fermented, and oh, they are so good. Best and healthiest way ever to eat pickles.
Mom and Pa had a good question here. How should you put oxygen packs
Okay, so yeah.
in when maybe dehydrating tomatoes?
Personally, okay, I have the oxygen packs. I rarely use them. I know a lot of people swear by them and say you should do it, but
It's insurance.
yeah, I just, especially with things like the tomatoes, I go through my dehydrated tomatoes pretty fast. And I'm always worried I won't have enough dehydrated tomatoes to get us through the year, because I like to add them to a lot of things. Dehydrated tomatoes are so good in gravies, and like I put, like when I made his eggs this morning, I make like a scrambler. I'll put in dehydrated tomatoes and dehydrated jalapeno peppers. Love dehydrated jalapeno peppers. I swear it makes them hotter. What are you laughing at?
Grizz, he's a sick one.
Oh, I
Check
missed
out.
it.
Check
It
out
probably wouldn't
my-
matter. It probably got deleted by
Check,
now anyway.
check out my website for dehydrated water for sale. Just add H2O and Spur.
Oh. And I do want to say something. I was going to say this at the beginning, just so people know. And we don't want to be word Nazis or whatever, but you got to realize that we have young kids that come into our channel.
Yeah, we have older people.
And
we have younger people. We have mid-aged people that simply don't like the foul talk and everything.
yeah,
And you
that
know,
includes
if you want foul
potty
talk and the potty talk and degraded type stuff like that, you know, there's plenty of other channels out there. We're not trying to play word Nazi or anything like that. We just want good old-fashioned fun, clean talk, and that's all we're asking for.
Well,
That's what our moderators
yeah,
have been instructed to do. So don't be mad at them.
yeah. So please don't.
You know,
Yeah,
we
'cause
we want everybody to come in here.
I mean, it looks like it looks like our
yeah,
chat looks great. I just
no,
wanted
yeah,
to put that out there for anyone who sees this later.
We have great folks that come in here.
Yeah.
But if you get a comment that gets deleted, it's just simply
We're trying to keep it.
We're just trying to keep, you know.
And I wanted to
clean.
say family friendly. Here's like a couple people have said, and I understand this. A lot of people have different ideas of what family friendly is. Well, let me tell you what our idea of family friendly is. It isn't the modern day Disney family friendly. Okay? We're talking 100 years ago family friendly. What did people consider family friendly 100 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Even 50 years ago, for crying out loud. I mean, when I was a kid, the way I see people talk on some things that are supposed to be family friendly, including Disney movies, which that's a whole nother subject, that was not family friendly when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going back because I know some of the people that come in here and they think that way, and I'm out of respect for them, especially, well, not especially just them, but for anybody who is looking for a good, safe place to be able to take family friendly. That's what we're looking. So if you're trying to understand the guidelines, that's what we're going for.
And we're not by any way up on a soapbox or anything special. We make mistakes, and we slip up.
Yeah,
we're human.
Yep, exactly.
But we're trying to set
no
ourselves
judgments
a
meant.
standard, and also
Yeah.
keep that standard prevalent in our content. So
Chris.
anyhow, enough said on that subject.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted people to understand that, because we're just want to accept everybody. We're not trying to we're not trying to run people off one way or the other. But anyway, so yeah, enough said. Like you said. Well, we got a few more minutes. What? Okay. Danny. He said that earlier. He wants a can. Asking me if I'm going to can corn so he can play.
Oh, we got that tree,
no.
so it
I was
cans
actually
its own
happy
corn.
to get rid of that corn. That corn, those cans of corn are so old, and I'm sure they're GMO anyway. That's why they're old, because I stopped eating corn for the most part, unless I knew it was non-GMO.
I didn't die. I actually did eat some of that corn from both times. I opened it 3 times. So I did sample 3 of those cans.
He got metal
and I didn't get
shavings and
botulism or
dirt
anything. So
and-
yeah, I got a well-rounded set of minerals in my diet yesterday.
And I still have several cans of corn. Because that goes back to when we just decided, okay, we're going to grow a garden, we're going to do this, but to get us a head start on food storage, let's go to Costco and buy a whole bunch of vegetables and cans. And that was so
And that's
long
probably the
ago.
way everybody starts out. You know,
Yeah,
like,
which is great. I mean, yeah. So, because for like a lot of people out there, I know can understand. I water bath for years, but it took me a while to get over the fear of the pressure canner, and then Pat bought me that all-American canner. I don't remember how many years ago now, but it did sit for a whole year before I actually pulled
it
it out and
actually
used it.
set for 2 years.
No, it sat for it was only a year.
Was it?
Yeah, I was almost thinking, I wonder if I can squeeze by one more year and just keep dehydrating and water bathing things. Delectable Mountains is in here. Awesome, good to see
Hello.
you. I love your channel, and I've missed a lot of your recent videos too, but I wanted to get caught up. But yes, you're from what I understand, on the same side of the mountains as we are now, but we are in Washington State. So, anyway, good to see you in here, and there go the dogs.
Again.
They're just excited. I get so excited every time somebody comes
Kayla's
in the
over there
door.
going, shh.
Yeah. Yes, I love the
That's just part of our life. You know,
Yeah,
we got to take the
yeah.
bumps, the warts with everything else. You're going to get mostly warts.
especially with him. And by the way, people, if you have not seen Delectable Mountains channel, you need to go check that lady out. She's wonderful, and she has great kids. I just love her channel. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, sorry about the buffering. Wow, we were actually green for like 2 seconds.
Ooh.
Nature of the beast when you live where
That
we
was
live.
it.
And I still have not called our local provider to find out what the rumor is about them possibly actually having a better upgraded thing out here. So we might get more whatever you call it. See, I'm not techie anymore. I've lost in my techiness.
We're back to homesteadiness, not techiness.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we have to
just
get on the
fine.
computer in
Yeah.
order to share
Yeah.
our stuff with you.
We have to be somewhat techie in order to be able to interact with all you wonderful people out there.
It's a bittersweet.
Which is so cool though, because it's so great that there's people. Like, most of you seem like you're in the south or east, southeast. I mean, it's so far away from where we are, but like Delectable Mountains is closer to where we are. And I found somebody on one of the chats, I think last night, who's not far from us at all.
Grizz
like
is-
3
Grizz is
hours
in,
drive.
Grizz is on our side.
And Grizz.
Mhm.
And I know I'm finding that there's more. And so we're hoping that maybe even as soon as next year, if I can kind of connect with all the right people, maybe getting our own event happening out somewhere this way. So, which that would be kind of cool. If people on this side of the mountains of the Cascades can join in.
Mm-hmm.
If I say the mountains, and some of you are like, wait, which mountain range would that be? You know what I'm saying? We're talking west of the Cascades. But
Susan had a question, and that'd be yes. Is fermented garlic, do you keep it
yes,
in the fridge?
keep it in the fridge. In fact, if you can keep you should keep all your fermented stuff in the fridge, but a root cellar will work anywhere where it will stay cool. Your kimchi, any of that kind of stuff. And then turmeric, shandiglamps. I tried growing turmeric one year, and it was starting to grow, and it was doing good, but it got pests in it from those same citrus trees. If you guys heard me tell the story about the citrus trees that came up from California, I think they must have been loaded with pests, and they killed all the citrus trees, and it killed my turmeric, and it killed some of my just regular house plants. And so we finally got rid of those. But I did, one of my subscribers did send me some fresh turmeric root, and I've got it planted in various places. I've got some in the greenhouse, and in pots, some in the greenhouse in the ground, some in pots out in the open, some in the ground out in the open, in all different places.
We'll
and
see
so we'll
what does
see.
best where. Yeah.
I really, really hope it works for us, because I really want my own turmeric. Teal House Farm. Sam's in here. I guess it's Sam. So.
Yeah, Sam from Teal House Farm. He was actually put on the challenge for the opening the cans too.
Yeah, it was fun, Sam. We enjoyed your video. And see, okay, here's a question I want to ask you in front of everybody, because he said in the video. No, he said in the video, I win. And what I keep meaning to ask him, when you said I win, do you mean you win because you think you did the best job, or you win because you got the can open?
I heard that there was like a $100,000 giveaway from Dutch.
Oh, it's the AR-15.
No, I typically when I remove a stump or I get a job done or something like that, I'm fighting with something, I'll say I win.
Yeah,
and that's my own little world. I made reference to that in a comment because somebody says, "Yeah, Pat, you won," and then I got, well, I better clarify this.
Yeah, because that's what I thought
that
too.
was a good question, Heidi, because you know, I in my little world, yes, I won.
See, and I know
I
him.
actually got the can open.
I know him, and I knew that's what he meant. I was pretty sure that's what he meant. It was like, I win because he won over the can.
Yeah, I was fighting against the can to open the can.
He wasn't trying to say
and
that.
There's actually, if I would have tipped that can on its side and I would have perpendicularly hit that with the backhoe tooth, the can would have split open, and I would have got corn everywhere. And that would have been a lot easier way to open that can.
It wouldn't have been as exciting.
That's my point. I said, okay, how can I set this can up where I could just completely demolish this thing without actually opening it? And when I first came down on it with a backhoe tooth, I punctured the top of the can. I was thinking, oh, I just perforated the top of the can. I thought, well, shoot, I hope it, doesn't come out that easy. So I kind of gave it a little bit more of a mash down so where I could, take a video of that and show it to everybody. It's like, oh, I still got more work to do on this thing.
But it was funny because the corn still flew everywhere on that first one. It's like there's corn all over the ground, but then you still couldn't get to the corn.
That's because when I actually punctured the top of the can, that's when all the corn and the juice and everything went everywhere. Well, when that happened, I'm thinking, okay, I need to just get just a little bit more to kind of fold the can into itself a little bit. So, when I took a video of it, then it showed, okay, well, this thing's still a mess. I need to work on it some more. Because I was thinking, and we took an hour's worth of video on this thing, and I was thinking, well, geez, how do I drag this out?
I need to put some, quit, Cody.
So, yeah, anyway, that, if I would want to get that can open quickly with the backhoe, I could have laid the can on its side, perpendicularly placed the backhoe tooth on the can and just went down on it, and it would either pushed out the sides or it would have pushed a hole in the middle of the can, and then I could have just broke it open easy. But anyway, it made it fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and the thing was is he was doing all that stuff, and I didn't know I kept wanting to go out there and watch, and I didn't know what all he was up to, and I'm like, no, I think I'll wait until I'm editing it so I can have more fun. Because you came in with that window, and we're cleaning that window off. I'm like, what? I had
an old window, and I was thinking, when I set the camera up, if anybody watches the video, they'll see that the camera was set up right next to the can was sitting here, and the camera was just right there behind the camera. So when the backhoe tooth came down, you could really get a clear shot of it. Well, I'm thinking, if I penetrate that can, there's going to be corn juice and corn everywhere, and I didn't want to destroy the camera, So I thought, well, I went ahead and put a piece of glass in front of the camera, in between the cup and the camera. I had a piece of glass, so when you guys watch the video, you'll see juice flying up and hitting the window, and then the next scene you'll see the window clean again.
Yeah.
So I was in and out of the house cleaning up
I was
that
trying to figure out
window,
what he was doing.
and
Like,
Heidi
no,
was
I'm gonna wait. I want
Heidi,
to be surprised.
she was beside herself trying to figure out what I was doing with that window, and I wouldn't tell her.
Sam, I love to dehydrate bananas. One thing I found though is that even vacuum sealed in the jars, you got to eat them up within a year. Which, as you're saying, you probably won't have to worry about that. But if it goes longer than a year, they get stale even in the jar. For some reason, the bananas will do that. I don't know why, but there was something else I saw.
Question?
It was either a question or a statement that I thought added to what we were saying. I think it was Flying BS Farm said something. Oh, the gag reel.
Oh.
You need a gag reel. We're talking about that. There was a lot more pieces that could have gone in there that would have been funny.
Yeah, at the start of the video,
I just didn't want to make it too long.
I was trying to remember the Texas boys' names, and they, it was Goober. I was Goober Rufus, and I kept forgetting the other guy's name. Buddy, yeah. Buddy. It's all names are simple to remember, but it's like I got in there, I kept forgetting, and I kept having to redo everything. So she, at the end of the video, she put one of those things in, not to bore you to death.
Yeah.
Hopefully you didn't get bored to death anyway before you got there.
Yeah,
so.
it took him several tries because he kept trying to.
I'm terrible with names.
I was like, I happened to come out at that moment because he was just starting the video. I was just going to ask him if he needed any help, and he started stammering. I'm like, whoa. I didn't even remember that I forgot that was their nicknames, and I was like, I was surprised you remembered that much. So are there any more questions? We were gonna button it up like 40 minutes ago, or not 40 minutes ago, like 20 minutes ago. I was gonna button it up, but yeah, even abbreviations, guys. Thank you. Remember. If you wouldn't have seen it in a movie 50 years ago, then it doesn't belong in here.
Yeah, you
heard.
We can talk about anything you want to talk about in here. We try to keep politics out of it, and we also try to keep the potty talk out.
Even abbreviated.
We can have fun in here,
words.
but we can have fun without anything derogatory going on. So.
Yeah. And again, we don't want to be Nazis, but we're just trying to appease to everybody.
Freedom of speech doesn't mean that you can be disrespectful, and freedom of speech means that we believe along those lines, and we have the same idea of freedom of speech means that we have the freedom that we can talk about anything, but don't be disrespectful.
Bandana, even if you have to muzzle Heidi with politics, yeah. Well, there's several reasons why I don't get into the politics thing, and one is this, that I had to pull myself away from it anyway because I just got too stressed out, and I realized why. There's so many other things that we can do to make ourselves better, to better our own situations without having to get all caught up in that whole net. And I know what it did to me. It was just kind of tearing me up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really no point.
No,
there's
life's too short to be all stressed out and miserable over some things that you really don't have control over.
Exactly. Yep.
And not everybody's going to agree with the same things that we agree with. Let's just agree agree to disagree, and just go with that.
And when it comes to voting,
let's not get hung up on stuff. Guys, it's like, what's the point?
The best way to
let's stick together, have fun.
Money. You vote with your dollars.
Yep. Live life, love, and have a good time.
And I tell you, seriously, I mean, look at the difference when you start voting with your dollars. Look at the difference you can make in your own small area. That makes so much more difference than filling in a ballot and something that's probably already been pre-selected. You vote with your dollars. I've seen the change here in my own little town just by going in and saying, okay, I'm going to buy this, this, and this. I don't care what the cost is because I know this is the better product. I know this is what's good for us, this organic, non-GMO. And what have I seen happen even in our small little isolated area? I've seen the store carrying more organic and non-GMO stuff. I've seen the prices go down. I've actually seen things, and a lot of locals probably would be surprised because there's a lot of people that like to go out of town to shop, and they end up paying more money at the box stores than they on some of this stuff than they could pay right here in our little town, because the prices are starting going down on these better products because people are voting with their money. And so the big companies are going, oh, see, it really does make a difference, and it might cost a little to get it going, but you know what, it's definitely worth it. And it's just like your health. It's going to cost you more to buy the healthy organic foods, but look at the money you're saving and not being on prescription medicines and not having to go to the doctor. I mean, I don't even know when the last time was I was at the doctor. It's been years since I've been at the doctor for anything. And the only reason he's been into the doctor at all is because he has to have his CDL exam once a year, or
4 years.
They change it all the time.
Yeah.
They change it all the time. Sometimes it's 1 year, sometimes it's 2, sometimes this is good and sometimes that's not good. I mean, as far as, what they require, to have all this done.
And I can't even remember. It seems like it goes from 2 years to 4 years to 2 years to 4 years.
Yeah, it seems like it changes all the time.
CDL physical. Maybe BC Truck can remember. I
can't
remember what I did yesterday. But
I think it changes from state to state too.
I think it's every 2 years that you have to have a CDL physical, but don't quote me on that. If you're really curious about it, I guess you can look it up, but I think it's every 2 years.
But here's the cool thing, and I shared this before too, is that his last CDL that he had done, or actually the last two, he the one before this last doctor was cool. He seemed more like he was totally on board with doing the naturopathic, not being on prescription medications. But the doctor before he went to for the CDL, he was like, oh, I see you were, you have hypothyroidism, and he asked him about his medications. He's like, well, doc, I haven't been on medications in 2-3 years, whatever it was. And he was all freaking out,
Oh,
we gotta get blood work done.
He had me on Synthroid for thyroid medication.
15 years we were both on thyroid medication. For
and the
new.
food Nazi over here, she
Food Nazi
started making me eat grass and, different things.
At least I didn't make you sleep outside.
Well, she's trying to do that now. I don't know why. But anyway, the doctor says,
"Oh, so I can live."
You can't go off of that. You need to get back on that medication.
Oh, yeah, you could die.
He was like, once you get on that medication, you cannot get off of it. And I says, well, I'm not on it. I feel good.
I'm still alive, doc, and I feel great.
I'm out of my mind, but I feel healthy. But and he says, well, we really need to take a blood draw on you and check that out, and of course I never got a call back. He never called back and sent an ambulance over to the house. It's like, okay, well, I must be.
Well, remember what the nurse was telling? She was doing all the blood pressure and all that stuff. And what did she say to you? She said, "Who are you, Superman?" I'm like, that is so cool.
I forgot about that.
That is so cool. A guy his age, who was on thyroid medication for 15 years and was off it for a few, and here they're calling him Superman. I mean, it's great. So, but yeah, both of us, thyroid medication, 15 years, and we did it on our own. We took our own selves off. I'm not going to recommend that to people.
Yeah, that's up to the individual.
I say go find, if you're looking to get off your medications, go find a licensed naturopathic doctor, and I always say this, go check out John Bergman's videos. He's got a lot on adrenal issues and thyroid, and you can learn so much. And again, I wish I would have found him before I took ourselves off. And I've had a couple people that have watched my Pharma Free videos, the two. I keep meaning to continue that, and I'm so sorry. I have to be able to go back and listen to those, which I've done recently, and I'm kind of like, I still have to figure out where to segue into the third one, and not to be too repetitive on what I went through to get, because for him it was just, he just breezed right through it. For me, it was a tougher road, and I went through some issues, but I still came out the other side. And I want to kind of go through that and the changes in my diet that I made along the way. And I just have to figure out what all did I say already That's the other thing. I just don't want to double up too much. But some things I think is good to hear 5, 10, 15 times. You know, you got to get it in your head. So,
Well, and the disclaimer is like, not
awesome.
Everybody can, get
Chanel,
off
great.
of prescription medication. That's just not everybody's game. And, you just have to, a lot of times if you decide to go that route, it's something that you have to wean yourself off of. But that's totally a self thing. And, I'm a kind of a cold turkey kind of a guy, and I just, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore, and I just don't do it.
I weaned him off.
But she did wean me off.
I
mean, it's
weaned
like
him off.
she did that on, because she thought that was necessary.
Yes.
But if it were me, I would just like, well,
Your body
okay,
has to have time.
we're not going to take these
yes.
things anymore. Chuck, throw them out the window.
Yeah,
But,
there are lots of them though that you do not just stop taking because your body's dependent on it, and it's
everybody's
you
body
can't
works
go,
differently.
yeah.
It's a unique thing.
Well, and while I'm on that, because I didn't really know what all topics we'd get on today, but and that kind of fits into how did we get here. I honestly believe when it comes to thyroid, except unless you have absolutely no thyroid gland, because dark ages they removed your thyroid gland, I still think there's options you can do for that. But
we like the bloodlet.
if they're
she's always sucking the blood out of me.
Oh, really? Anyway, if you're just been said, and the doctor said, oh, you have hypothyroidism, here's some drugs. Here's what you need to understand about hypothyroidism. It is a symptom. It is not a disease. It is not a disorder. And here go my Italian hands flying everywhere. So, anyway, so you got to understand that. It is a symptom. And so when they throw that, especially synthetic thyroid medication at you, and you can see me getting fired up here, I'm on my soapbox, and I apologize, but this is so important. They are treating a symptom. That is all they're treating. And blood pressure, same thing. They're treating a symptom. High blood pressure, chronic high blood pressure is a symptom of an underlying issue. And if they're just throwing drugs at your symptom, they're not helping you cure the problem. So
Heidi, just calm down.
I know, those are the two I know for sure. They're just treating a symptom. So because here's what you have to understand about blood pressure. So those of you who are out there suffering with high blood pressure, your body goes into fight or flight. You need your blood pressure to go high for a reason. You need it to be low for a reason. So your blood pressure should be doing this all the time. If you're just relaxing and reading a book, you need you don't want your blood pressure up here. But if you're running from a tiger, you want your blood pressure up here. Okay, this is important stuff.
I've always got high blood pressure because I'm always running
from me in the skillet.
And the skillet.
Yeah.
So.
Oops, I forgot to put on my.
Hello, Doug.
I forgot to put on the
suspenders.
the suspenders. So, anyway. So, I say that because, and that's just those two things. There's a lot more out there. Look into this stuff for yourself. I still believe that everybody could get off blood pressure medicine. I absolutely believe that. I could be wrong, but I believe that. I believe almost everyone can get off of thyroid medication. So again, 15 years, both of us, 15 years thyroid medication. We've been off for like 4 or 5 years now. I think it'll be 5 years in May.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're doing great. And anyway, and we almost never get colds or flus. I think the last flu I got was during that downtime when my body was still adjusting, trying to get back into making its own thyroid and being in its proper health for a woman my age. So
Doug, I see you're online here.
Oh,
so
you might not have heard.
I'm calling you out.
He's calling you out, Doug.
So,
all because you mentioned it.
It's your fault.
It's your fault.
So, you're going to have to come up with a way to open up a can And
I
it's
don't
going to
know.
get tougher and tougher
You probably
because
never buy canned food.
you know
but,
I would like to. Yeah, you're going to have to go.
Oh, but that's right. You're supposed to forage.
You're going to have to
for the
hook up.
canned
You're going to
food.
have to hook up the horse and buggy and go to town and buy yourself a can of corn or something of that nature. At any rate, yeah,
Thank you, Weetree.
you mentioned it, so I put you on the list.
Poof, Doug left the building. But I do have to say, if I didn't say it already, the cans of corn, I was happy to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to just toss them for a long time because I'm sure it's all GMO, and that stuff is so old. But it's kind of like, it's food though. I just hate to throw it away. It's like, oh, good, here's your use. Oh, do you need some more cans? I'm like, here, do you need some more? I still have several more cans. So maybe he should go,
Well, I needed
don't know.
some fruit to put on
Hi,
the
Faye.
tree, so.
And there's a lot of people I have not. I've seen you come in, and I'm nodding. I'm like, oh yes, I'm saying, and I'm trying not to interrupt him. But hi, everyone that I didn't say hi to. Like Jay was another one I didn't get a chance
Jay
to
and
say hi
Faye
to.
and Bob.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, hello all you people. Thanks for dropping in. And it's already been an hour and 20 minutes, and I was only going to do an hour at most.
Oh well, yeah. we can stick around or get off here and stop boring to death or whatever. Yeah, we just popped in here. We had a little bit of extra time this afternoon, and we just
Yeah, I
wanted to
thought
call
today would
out
be a good day.
Doug and call out
Tommy from
Tommy from
Alderman Farm.
Yeah, and then
Brad from Full
Brad
Spectrum
Full
Survival.
Spectrum Survival.
You
Yeah,
gotta get their
and
game
you know,
on.
I ought to make a rule about that. Is that you cannot try the same thing twice.
That's gonna be tricky.
So it's gonna get harder.
There's a
and
lot of
harder.
good ones out there already.
I mean, I don't think that's written in stone, but I think you guys are probably creative enough. You can figure something out. But after a while, you're gonna have to really get creative.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. Boy, 3 people at once.
I'm glad I was early on in the string.
And that's
'cause I
if they take the challenge on. They may not want to, but I don't know. You guys, I don't know. You turned down a challenge.
Yeah, well, guys,
But then poof, Doug left the building.
yeah, well, he's still here. That was good though.
Oh, okay. Bye, Ma and Pa. Every time I say that, I think Ma and Pa Kettle. So I used to love watching Ma and Pa Kettle when I was a kid. So, okay. Any other questions? Good seeing you both. Again, Rains. Thank you, Bandana. Maryland. That's right. You're over there in, I won't say. I won't say. You know where you're at. See, now I was going to get on my soapbox again.
Grizz, you're one healthy guy. That's all I can say.
Potato and orange juice tincture.
Yeah.
Good grief. Okay. How's it? The chat thing. When's YouTube gonna fix this? You know, you want to try to scroll and look at, see if you miss anything, and then the chat goes all flashy and stupid and disappears on you. And
so, any more questions for us?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, sorry people that are not watching this live and getting involved in the chat. Not everything is repeatable. Well, not that it's bad. It's just, yeah. Anyway. Never mind me. Okay. It seemed like there was some other questions I may have missed. I'm sorry, people. They probably gave up and left. Okay, Sam's already left the building too. Okay, sorry. Just checking. All right, I'm gonna scroll back down because got to keep up here.
Yeah, if there's
Mini
nothing.
natural hair care
Okay.
with not so flat hair. Okay, like mine. Boy, it was big today. I wasn't gonna wear it back, but I had to because it was big. It was, some days it's just big, and I know you know what I mean. Well, I do have a video out on some natural hair care. I will be making a video eventually on how I make my own shampoo, and it's literally from scratch shampoo. Like, I make my own soap to start with. I use herbs from my garden and rainwater. That's it. And then you can put in essential oils if you want. However, I only wash my hair with that once a week. I use my own organic or homemade vinegar, and you'll be surprised if you've heard of the baking soda method. That's only good for people who have oily hair, Do not use it if you have very dry hair.
What about no hair?
And if you have no hair, then you don't need to worry about it. Period. But
low maintenance hair. Lonely Prepper asked if I was going to sell seeds. That is a patent pending.
Oh, the corn,
the
canned
canned corn tree. Yes.
Yeah, somebody else was asking
and
about that.
I know that's going to be a pretty popular item. But once I, finish the patent on that, I'm going to be rich and famous. Well, just rich. I don't want to be famous. And all y'all are going to be eating your hearts out, and you're going to be eating my canned corn. So, yeah, not for sale.
I got to finish the hair thing.
Oh.
Because that was a real question. So anyway, I wash with the vinegar. I do about a 1/4 cup of vinegar to 1 cup of water, and then I just put it in a squirt bottle, and I just kind of rinse it through my hair and work it through, and I'll even leave it on. I kind of massage it into my scalp, and then I'll rinse it out, and then I take my own little home blend of coconut, or no, I think it's avocado or grapeseed oil, I can't remember, with some essential oils, and it's an infused oil. I've got cayenne pepper in it because that's good. It helps stimulate hair growth, and I massage all that into my scalp and kind of through my hair, and so I'm getting a little of the above. Just make sure that you don't put it on the hair that gets in your eye, because the cayenne pepper will burn. But that's helped me quite a bit. But still, I get the vinegar. I notice when I do usually just the vinegar wash, actually no, the shampoo makes my hair not so big. The vinegar might make it bigger, but the baking soda wash that a lot of people are the no poo method, don't use it if you have dry hair. Again, it'll make it more dry. It really it damages your hair.
Grizz, believe it or not, I thought about throwing a can into our fireplace.
Yes.
And then going back and then taking the shovel and taking it back out and saying, maybe that's not a good idea. But yeah, I did think about doing that in that video we just shot.
Okay, on the tractor. Why do you leave the bucket? I was thinking bucket,
what's that?
Like a 5-gallon bucket. Doug asks, why do you leave the bucket up to collect water on the tractor?
I just cradle it, and a lot of times I just don't even think about uncradling it, but it doesn't hurt anything. As a matter of fact, when I was on the video where I was digging up the stump, it actually had frozen water in the bottom of the bucket. It was actually frozen in there. The bucket's actually in pretty bad shape. I've welded it up a couple of times, a couple cracks up in it. Obviously I bought the machine used, and I probably should.
You know what you should do one of these days? You should do a video on how you made that setup. Remember when we went and got the logs for the firewood? That.
Oh, the grapple setup?
Yeah, you should show that how you built that. That was pretty cool. But you got to remember.
But yeah, I had a big old block of ice in the bottom of the bucket, and I couldn't shake it out because the bucket's rough on the bottom because it's been welded up before. Even before I owned the bucket, somebody had been welding on the thing too. It's all rattly. The pins are all half of the pins are replaced, and there's a lot of them that aren't. If I replace the actual bucket, the hole would actually be in pretty good shape. I got some side pins that I need to replace on the boom. But anyway, yeah, there's a big old chunk of ice, in the bottom of that thing, and I probably should have the bucket when it's parked, just have the bucket facing straight down. It wouldn't collect water. Good question.
Bye, Rebecca. Or Flying VS Farm. Got 2 Rebeccas in the room, so I should be more specific.
Yes, Annette, we do filter the water.
Yes, and I filter it for you in the shampoo, and especially for making vinegar or anything like that. Yeah, I always try to use the filtered rainwater. We're on city water, which unfortunately is chlorinated and fluoridated. Well, they have to chlorinate it, but they don't have to fluoridate it. I've written many emails, and I finally gave up because they just laugh at me. We've been doing it this way for 50 years, so that makes it right. Durr. Okay,
another
anyway.
soapbox.
Whatever, I'll stay off that one. 2. I thought there was another question. Okay, it sounds like somebody needs to go outside.
I'll roll up here and see if I can't find a question.
Yeah, go
Scanning. Okay. I think we've answered everything, Mama.
I thought there was something else somebody had asked her. Oh, I was just going to say about the rain. You got to remember, we get lots and lots of rain, so everything has water in it. Everything collects water.
Yes.
And rusts.
Rust and water.
Rust country.
We are collectors of rust and water.
Yeah. So we could have called it, but then we'd be called Mr. and Mrs. Rust. I like rain better.
Rusty rain.
It sounds better. So,
Okay. Well,
it looks like people are all having to head off and do their stuff. So
yeah.
we should probably button it up.
Right. So, anyway, thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
Share our stuff if you want to. Like,
and even
subscribe.
if you don't want to, share it anyway.
We appreciate everybody who stops in here and spends their time with us. And
yeah, it's fun. We miss getting in here and just talking to you guys. We really like the interaction. That's why we like the live shows. It's just this live interaction with real people.
Yeah, but Grizz, how you behave is the question.
Yeah, you always behave. Okay, we'll just leave the last word off that sentence. Okay, and thank you, moderators, for coming in here and helping us, keep things going smoothly, and especially so spur of the moment. It was like, I think I gave you like 6 minutes. I was gonna wait until an hour later. I'm like, we should go on now because I'm ready. Let's just do this and let's get going.
Well, Lonely Prepper just asked, did I see that your stove was set back in a sort of an alcove? Yes, it is.
Yes.
We had that done a while back. It sets in here halfway into the alcove. This used to be a insert. Well, the stove obviously.
Yeah, well, it used to be just a regular fireplace.
It used to be an insert, and the alcove that you see in here, I had all that rebuilt by a stove guy. All stainless steel chimney put in, and sleeve that goes up. So when I bought this stove, the stove guy says, "Well, that's a big stove." And he says, "How much room do you got?" And I gave him the measurements in between the fireplace sides. And he says, "Well, I got a smaller one for you." And I says, "Well,
you need to clean the glass again.
I want the biggest stove I can stick in there because Heidi, she wants to start cooking on it." Well, I says, he says, "Well, that smaller one would fit in there easier." I says, "Well, I want the biggest one I can put in there." And so I got about 1 inch of clearance on each side of this thing. And she, as you can see, it's got, well, I always got a pan of water on here for heating up water.
That's dinner.
That's dinner over there. Usually have a coffee pot sitting on that, and tonight she'll put a teapot on there. But yeah, we keep this thing going all winter long. And I told the stove guy, I says, "Well," I said, "I'd rather stuff that thing full of wood and let it burn most of the night. And if it gets too hot in here, I can always open up a door. But if it gets cold in the house during the winter time, a little stove, it might not keep up." So I always can shut this thing down. It's a real good stove.
Now, plus I wanted as much area up here for cooking and heating things as possible.
We got her a flat top one.
Yeah, the one that we had before was a step, the step one, and it was the one, the front step was only like that big, and I could only fit smaller pots on that. So yeah, and then all these little things up here, these are the little hand crocheted things I made. These are my, handle holders for the cast iron skillets. And it fits perfectly over the coffee pot handle too, just so happens.
Demonstration?
I can't, I'm not gonna, it's cold.
The pot's not hot, so
Yeah,
it just goes
'cause I
on
took it
there. Fits on there to where you can handle a hot handle. The
And then
stove's kind of cool right now, so.
Then I made these ones to go over this pot, so when I'm carrying it in to dump it into the sink, the water into the sink for washing dishes, But then I found this size works great for a whole bunch of other things. So these things are getting pretty worn out. And those I used 100% cotton, so they wouldn't melt or anything like that. But anyway, for reals, we really should get off of here. So sorry, we kind of get addicted to talking to you people.
It was Lonely Prepper's fault. He asked the question. We were about ready to get off.
Yeah, lonely. What's up with that? Yeah. So anyway,
thanks for everybody for stopping in on our impromptu chat. Please leave comments below in retrospect to how we might be able to make this better.
Yeah.
As far as the communications are concerned, share with us your what got you going into the homesteading direction. So maybe some ideas for us to take that next step. We're getting kind of comfortable where we're at, but our big dream is to get a bigger piece of dirt someplace, a little bit out of town, and that we're in our 50s and
yeah,
our clock is ticking.
That's not old though. We know that's not old, but it's just I think anybody who's at least 50 knows that you can hit that age, you start seeing down the road, and you realize, wow,
right,
okay, we
got
to
to consider planning a little bit and think, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so we really will go and let you all you wonderful people. Thank you again for coming by, and we'll see you next time, whenever that is. I'll try to give you a little bit more of a heads up. So thank you. Bye.
God bless.